What's up, Dice Crew? Now look, we're gonna react to this video that's by Dubs. You know, he a Mexican YouTuber, and he pretty much speaking on this episode of the Adam and Wax show pertaining to Luce Cannon is involved, but the topics is really much about lefty gunplay. And you know, I tune in off and on sometimes about with Dubs because Dubs say certain things to me that I find, you know, pretty much on the intelligent side of things, you know. So I always, you know, give him some flowers or whatever the case may be, and I don't just jump on no bandwagon when people, you know, put out certain type of titles or labels on Dubs. But on this video, I feel like Dub's approach was really wrong, and I felt like, you know, he also was carrying on in an irresponsible manner. But you know, that's just me kind of giving y'all the small little intro. I'm gonna run the video. Y'all keep it a Benji for me in the comments. I'm gonna keep it a Benji for y'all in the reaction. Let's tune in.
Today we're gonna get into WACK100 once again, man. Once again, he has an issue with, or he has some commentary on lefty gunplay. Before we do that, I want to shout out the subscribers that donated on the last live, either through Super Chat or through Cash App. And real quick, it's Joe Dirt, Daniel Trejo, the Big Pete, OG Steve. He gave 3 donations that night. David Ranhead, Samantha Lynn, Ruben C., Von Habsburg, Descendant. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate you. Now let's get it. So we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna play this, and this is just them again. Adam and Wack. I don't even know what to say at this point. Let's just see what they have to say.
On Jesus that quick.
He put a Bible on his head when he
Came
walked
out
out.
with the Bible in his hand.
What about the rapper from Texas, kissing what's the name, or about to kiss?
Yo, your man Lefty Gun plays a mook.
A mook. Who in California has used that word? I think the only other person that I know of that has used that word was Wes Watson. And I said it in a video. I was like, who the fuck out here uses that word? So he's trying to be funny, I think. And I have to say, man, I've interacted, you know, through text and phone with Wack several times in the past. And he's always been respectful. He and I have always kept it respectful. But I got to speak on this, man. You know, and this is another case right here. And we're going to get into it. This is just another case of the hazards of fame, man. Whether people love him or hate him, you mention Lefty Gunplay's name, you will get views. And the title of this one is The Adam and Wax Show, number 50, Zesty Gunplay. And, you know, Adam has had Lefty on here. Then Lefty told him, fuck you, I need a bag to get on. And then they were supposed, you know, then he begged Lefty to come back. And then here he goes with this. So let's get into this weird ass conversation, man. Out of nowhere, nothing to do. There's no foundation, no truth behind it. It's a bad angle on a picture, and they want to make it into something else.
Listen, he was talking to the other dude in the
he's
club.
kidding. No.
If me and you were in the club, what about that picture of you and Snoopy Badass?
No, you ain't. I'm not never gonna be lip to lip with nobody.
You weren't lip to lip, but you were like ear to ear. You guys were faking it in that photo. But there, you're in the club. It's loud as you're yelling into the other person's
Dude
ear.
was lip to
No,
lip.
it was lip to lip.
No.
Yeah.
No. And I hate that I have to say that the 16 is right, but what's right and what's wrong is wrong. That was an angle. He obviously wasn't gonna. Come on now, like, so he's gonna say, Wack is gonna go on and say right now that they were supposedly doing something in secret. Why would they kiss mouth to mouth in a club full of people? Which one is it? They were trying to be secret or they weren't? This is crazy, man. This is clout chasing at its finest. And WACK is a mastermind at it, but on this one, he falls short. And things are gonna get ugly. Things are gonna get ugly.
There's no reason to yell
like
into
this.
the other
He
person's
was
mouth. He's
lip to
yelling into
lip.
his ear.
He was lip to lip.
No.
You heard the dude say I'm bisexual.
So, okay. Let's say, so you think Lefty Gunplay is down low homosexual
Straight
and
up.
that he decided
I think he got
to just
Pelican
make
Bay.
out with another man.
So that right there, and it's gonna get even worse. So according to WACK, Lefty had relations with a man in Pelican Bay.
Now, mind you, if we're gonna be particular, we gotta use word for word and detail for detail. WACK said he thinks this took place with Lefty Gunplay behind the walls. Not saying that it's facts, not saying that it's true, real, false, whatever. But he said he thinks this is what happened. Now, if you carry yourself a certain way or something is produced pertaining to you and a person develops their own opinion about something or their thought about something, then they're entitled to that. You know what I'm saying? But we can't say that WACK is spreading something as a fact when he just clearly said he thinks. Let's run it back.
To just
Pelican
make
Bay.
out with another man.
Get ugly.
There's no reason to
It was
yell
like
into
this.
the other
He
person's
was
mouth.
lip
He's
to
yelling into
lip.
his ear.
He was lip to lip.
No.
You heard the dude say I'm bisexual.
So, okay. Let's say, so you think Lefty Gunplay is down low homosexual
Straight
and
up.
that he decided
I think he got
to just
Pelican
make
Bay.
out with another man.
Now y'all heard WACK. I think. Let's continue.
So that right there, and it's gonna get even worse. So according to WACK, Lefty had relations with a man in Pelican Bay. WACK100 has done time with Raza. WACK, you know who allows gays on the main line? Who doesn't? Let's not go there, because then all of a sudden I'm gonna be the racist for telling the truth. You are more likely to have that kind of person in your cell than Lefty would ever be. Any Mexican, Southern or Northern, Bulldog, if they engage in that and they get, man, they're getting whacked. There is not going to be anyone allowed to walk around the yard like that and make the raza look bad.
Now, Dubs painted this image, right? First, he painted the image like WACK is disclosing this information like it's actually a fact, when WACK just said that's something that he thinks, right? And also, Dubs, are you gonna sit here and say that it's just never, ever been a Mexican behind the walls who participated in rainbow activities? That's just a question of mine. Is that the narrative that you using?
There, because then all of a sudden I'm going to be the racist for telling the truth. You are more likely to have that kind of person in your cell than Lefty would ever be. Any Mexican, Southern or Northern, Bulldog, if they engage in that and they get, man, they're getting whacked. There is not going to be anyone allowed to walk around the yard like that and make the raza look bad, make the raza look weak. You know that. Anyone who has done time, especially in a 180, and you spoke on Pelican Bay, so that's a level 4 180. It's not happening. Not for the raza.
Rapper in the club.
I think he.
Now, also, the reason why people will find it kind of very, uncalled for, but it's like, why would you even bring up a whole group of individuals when WACK is talking about one individual? He said he thinks this is what took place behind the walls with Lefty Gunplay. He didn't say nothing about no Southsiders, Northsiders. He didn't say nothing about no prison politics. He didn't go off into nothing and start speaking about multiple Mexicans. He didn't say nothing. He left his conversation on the topic at hand, which is Lefty Gunplay. But Dubs, you chose to bring up what blacks as a whole will allow or tolerate. You know what I'm saying? So now you're bringing up black people when you could have kept your conversation based upon WACK100 and Lefty Gunplay. But for you to bring that up, how can anybody else pretty much view you as anything other than having some type of level of hostility towards blacks? You know, it seemed like you had that loaded already, cocked and ready to shoot that type of shot pertaining to black people. But that wasn't the topic at hand. You know, if you had something to say about what you kind of feel about WACK100 and rainbow activity, then that's what you could have stuck to. But instead, you brought up a group of individuals, a whole race, and the way they conduct themselves and what they're willing to allow behind the walls, when every black individual does not condone with rainbow activities. You know, that's just the truth in the matter. Will it be some that participate? Yeah. But do everybody agree with the rainbow activity and engage with it? No, sir. But, you know, let's continue.
I got turned into an ankle grabber in Pelican Bay.
You think he just randomly decided?
Yo, look.
He doubles down on it. But he knows the politics. He's always talking about the politics. He knows the politics of the streets, politics of prison. Then why you lying, man? Why you lying, Wack? You know damn well what'll happen. You have never seen a Mexican homosexual on a yard in prison. Ever. Never, ever.
Oh, make out with this dude in the club.
It was definitely personal.
And this dude, Luce Cannon, that shirt right there, and you want to bring up this topic? Who is Luce Cannon? Other than the dude trying to pin a murder on somebody, who is this cat? And Wack, again, look, Holmes, you can't be, Wack did the interview with 6ix9ine. Now he's rolling around with a dude who's actively trying to pin a murder on somebody. But this isn't brought up. It's, let's make up some stuff on a Mexican because his name is hot. And I think that everybody, I don't care what your ethnicity is, should see this type of shit and be like, that ain't cool. Even if you don't like, even if you do not like Lefty, come on now.
If Lefty Gunplay was gay and
Now listen. He brought up Luce Cannon's shirt, right? Luce Cannon's shirt is like a light purple with like a blue color, right? Y'all can see it on the screen. The color coordination is pretty much the same color coordination as the Hater World's channel. You know, Blue Devil and them, the Mexican YouTuber, you know, shout out to him, whatever. But the color coordination is the same color on Luce Cannon's shirt is the color of Haters World YouTube channel. So if you feel like it's something, you know, fishy on the rainbow side of the color of Luce Cannon's shirt, then you must feel that way about Hater World. You know what I'm saying? And then also, look how Dubs is delivering his message. He's talking about, let's make up something about a Mexican guy because his name is hot. Now, I don't think I'm wrong about this, but for what I do know is that like Lefty Gunplay and WACK100 haven't really been seeing eye to eye since Lefty Gunplay being kind of like a hot topic or something like that, right? I can't really tell you where it all started from or whatever the case may be, and I just know, you know, they don't really see eye to eye. So when people don't see eye to eye, you know, people go about things however they go about things. But for Dubs to insert himself into an issue that's about two individuals personally, and you bring up Mexicans and make it seem like the only reason why WACK100 is speaking on Lefty Gunplay is because he's a Mexican and he's a hot topic, that's very irresponsible. And I totally do not believe that is the reason why Wack is speaking on Lefty Gunplay. I don't think he's speaking on Lefty Gunplay because, you know what, he's a Mexican, he's a Mexican, he's a hot topic, let's just make up something about him. You know, I don't think that's the case. I don't think anybody gathered that. But if you want to back Lefty Gunplay up, Dubs, you can just say you want to back up Lefty Gunplay. You don't have to make it seem like you want to back up the whole Mexican culture and insert the Mexican culture like that has anything to do with anything in this discussion. You are bringing up black people as a whole, and you're bringing up Mexicans as a whole. The conversation that's going on at that table in No Jumper is Lefty Gunplay, Luce Cannon, Adam 22, WACK100, and scenarios that Wack keeps saying what he thinks. He's not making up anything about nobody. He's not making up anything about a Mexican guy, because what he's delivering and how he's delivering it, I should say, is not even as a form of a fact. If he said, yeah, I got the paperwork, I got the person that's going to call, tune in on Clubhouse, they're going to explain these things that took place with Lefty Gunplay, then we'd be saying, okay, Wack is creating this false narrative. But when he keeps saying, I think this took place behind the walls with Lefty Gunplay, I think he turned into an ankle grabber and behind the wall, these is all what he's saying he think, which people is entitled to. You know, if you got on there and you said, you know, the way Wack speaks, how he speak, I think he, you know, whatever you might would have came up with, then that's not you creating no false narrative. That's just you merely opinionating how you feel about a situation based upon a person's behavior. You feel me? So I feel like we got to be more detailed and be more precise, and we also got to stop trying to add everybody into a situation that's just between individuals. If Wack was going on there saying Lefty Gunplay this, that, and the third, or just kept bringing up Mexican, then by any means I would totally get why Dubs should feel some type of way. But you don't have to hide behind your culture. You know, you don't have to bring your whole culture into a situation that does not have nothing with have anything to do with them. Sort of say, I understand Lefty Gunplay is a Mexican, but this conversation is about Lefty Gunplay. So if you want to insert yourself, be honest, say you want to back up Lefty Gunplay, but don't make it seem like you know, using Lefty Gunplay situation as a form to win points with your people by acting like you're frontlining for the Mexicans, when Mexicans are not being disrespected on here. And, you know, shout out to all the races all around the board. And for sure, shout out to everybody that's not pushing no level of racism.
Gonna out himself. It's not gonna just be like a random makeout session in the club.
He was high.
No, he
was
wasn't.
all powder.
Oh, okay, he probably was, but
Popping pills. He stay high. And I don't give what you say. When dudes get high like that, they tend to act out what they think.
How you know? How do you know that? I wouldn't know that. I wouldn't know a single thing about what makes people engage in that stuff.
Now, I find that not true, right? I understand the angle that you can, you know, create based upon the things that Wack just said, but if you've been in the streets, if you just been on this earth long enough, you have seen something or something that's been brought to your attention that you have seen people participate in, and drugs play a big part in it. You don't have to be directly involved. We're not saying you got to be locked in a bedroom with individual who does this, but you could be at a party of 20 people and you can see what certain people start doing. You can see people get intoxicated on certain drugs, and then certain things that they say is very much different than what they were saying before they was intoxicated. You know, you got people that get outed in the streets a lot, you know, just over time, that's exposed behind, okay, what happened with such and such and them? Oh, you know, they got high, or they got on this, and the third, and they engaged in these type of activities. So they got to pay a penalty behind that. So people outed them out because they wasn't in agreement of that type of behavior. But you got people that's like me, myself, I understand situations to where, not understand situations, but I am aware of certain situations of guys getting high on drugs and filming themselves doing things that they shouldn't be doing and putting it out there because they're so intoxicated they don't even find nothing wrong with it at that time until they wake up in the morning or they come down from when they drugs from their highs. Then they understand, wow, career is over. So I'm just aware of that. And I feel like Dubs is, you know, he older than me. So I believe that he had to be aware of that at some type of point. You know, that's just like you don't have to drink to know that people be drinking and get behind that wheel and things end up terribly wrong, you know, for all kind of innocent individuals. You don't got to drink to know that. It's just because it's what goes on. You don't have to drink and drive to understand that people who drink and drive cause all kind of unfortunate situations. So we can paint the image on the immature level and throw a jab at a person with a certain jab and with a certain joke because they give us the alley hoop to dunk that. But we talking about a serious situation here, so we got to keep the same energy. We got to keep it very mature, keep it very adult-like, and we got to kind of stick to the, not kind of, but we got to stick to the facts.
What makes people do that type? How do you know, Wack? How you know, old flamboyant shirt?
And you know, again, I'm gonna just jump back on that same topic. Just like people that get on PCP, angel dust, Sherm, however you word it, you ain't never had to participate with that drug to know that people will get on that drug and run around here and think they Superman. You don't gotta indulge in that drug to be aware of that. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be aware. You don't have to be participating that to be aware of that. But everybody knows that these is the possibilities. Everybody know they'll get on these drugs and they'll run around here and get naked and run down the street. We aware of that just for being in the, you know, living in the environments that we grew up in, or just being aware, or, you know, being knowledgeful and being tied into situations in some type of way. But that don't mean that you have ever participated in these drugs. But everybody knows that a person will get on these drugs and that's what they will do. Come on, man. I mean, you can even get a person like a kid watching movies and they can see what takes place with Smokey on Friday when he gets with the Hispanics in the lowrider and they get on Angel Dust, and what, you know, they paint the picture on one of the ways how people act off of Angel Dust. You know what I mean? So do them kids or whatever the case may be gotta participate in those drugs? No, but they knowledgeful enough to see that, hey, this is something that takes place, even though that's just a movie. But I'm just giving an example on the lighter end. But on the reality side of things, like, if you've been on this earth long enough, then you know these is things that take place. You know, that's just how it go. It's just common sense. You don't gotta never been a part of no type of drinking and driving, no type of nothing. But you know, if you see somebody that you care about getting intoxicated, you probably gonna order them an Uber, Lyft, call a taxi, take their keys from them, drive them yourself. That's just because you kind of understand what takes place when people get intoxicated. So let's continue though.
How do they know? I don't know. That's curious.
It becomes S monsters.
Dude is bisexual.
No, he's
So
not.
he's flirting. He's flirting with that.
Okay, so
The guy is
Rick
bisexual.
Wolfpack came out as bisexual,
bisexual.
but then it was revealed that he was in fact trolling.
No.
Who gonna
That's
troll like
Lefty
that?
calling him saying, yo, how you got me looking? It's supposed to be our little secret. Actually, let me do it. What's the...
Okay, so here comes the part to me. This is legal. This is legal. What WACK is about to do is legal. But imagine me trying to do a video talking like I'm black in a derogatory way. See, you can't talk about gays and blacks. But watch what he's about to do, and it's fine. It's funny.
I totally disagree with that, right? I feel like if anybody don't have a real defense, you know, for as a whole, it would be the black community. Because if that was the case, you know, why do all the Mexicans say the N-word? Why do all kind of other races say the N-word? You know, why would you try to label the rainbow community hand in hand with the black community? Now, I would say that most people would agree with that you pretty much can't speak against that rainbow community and you can't speak against the Jews. That's what most people would say on some adult type, mature type get down, right? So that's how I view it. But for you to try to say you can't get away with saying things about blacks and it's okay, I mean, and then it be without having a problem, that's just not true. Now, if you jump in some type of world, some type of lane that's dominant or created from black people, and it's a dominant black situation, then of course a lot of black individuals will have something to say. You know, if you get on here and you critique black people and you say something that comes off very much distasteful, then a black person will have something to say. I feel like the defense wall for Mexicans is way more serious than it is for the black culture. I feel like you can't even look at this situation at hand. You know, it's probably not going to be a lot of black people who feel a way behind Dubs getting on here creating this narrative like a black person is trying to be racist towards a Mexican when that's not the truth in this situation. A lot of blacks ain't gonna get on here and say nothing, but WACK is just speaking on a Mexican individual named Lefty Gunplay, and Dubs is jumping out the window creating this whole race issue, Mexican, black. He's going these, you know, he's kind of turning the conversation into that situation. So I just feel like you can't really just put that type of energy out there, you know, and it's not like you can just, and I feel like it's not okay to put no false information out there on anybody at the end of the day. But let's continue.
There's gonna be people in the comments talking shit, backing this up.
To do name?
Brick Wolfpack.
Yo, Big Wolfpack, I think you had some moves. Like, listen, I never seen nobody kind of look like you. And like, through shot, like, you know, Holmes, we in Texas, so don't nobody know me. So fuck it, Holmes, give me a kiss.
That's racist.
That's racist. Look at that smile. And that's fine. Nobody has a problem with it. Look at the smile.
That ain't racist.
That's racist.
No, motherfucker, that's Cholo talk.
Yeah.
Now, I agree with what WACK just said. It's not racist, but that's Cholo talk. Cholos got a certain way of delivering how they talk, their grammar, their pronunciation, their accent, just they carry themselves how they carry themselves, and that's just the case you know, that's the case. And I don't think that's necessarily all Mexicans don't even talk like that. They don't talk like that. They don't deliver like that. You know, you got a lot of well-spoken Mexicans. You got a lot of Mexicans that don't sound or talk any kind of way like they are part of the Cholo, nothing. So I feel like that's just what he's mimicking. A person that's, you know, I guess if he's a Cholo, he's mimicking that. And I feel like I wouldn't feel offended if Dubs got on here and he kept saying, you know, if he's talking about WACK and he get to saying like on Paru. Matter of fact, like Gunners, you know, I have watched videos with Gunners Collectives, you know, shout out to him. And he speak on WACK and he'd say, you know, on Paru, he get to saying certain things. It's just a part of his deliverance on how he do the mimicking thing. But I don't take it as he's making fun of the black culture. You know, I don't see it as that type of way. If you mimic something that a person really carry themselves a certain way, then I'll look at it as a direct you know, mimic, not trying to bash people as a whole. That's just like I'm gonna run this clip right here so y'all can see WACK100 mimicking Brick Baby.
Baby sitting there like, yep, cuz, so, hood, so did you get, how you be moving and shit? Nigga, you.
Now, as you can see from that clip, he's making a full-on mimic of Brick Baby. So I feel like if you're gonna speak on this situation, you should also be more responsible about it to teach younger dudes and people that's a part of the Mexican culture, you know, like, okay, it could be a possibility that he's making a joke of Mexicans. If that's how you feel, you can say it's a possibility. You don't say it's a fact, but you also let him know, like, but this falls under WACK100's character. When he have a problem with certain individuals, if you know, some people got a strong personality, so people can really mimic them very well. And if he'd do that with Brick Baby, what is he doing now? Is he mimicking black people? Like, is he, you know, being disrespectful towards blacks? No, he's just, you know, speaking how you speaking and making a mimic with it. That's just one of the ways how whack carry yourself. I'm not saying whether it's wrong, right, whatever, but I don't think it's so much about him trying to disrespect Mexicans. And he said what he said, and I think he mean what he mean. He said that that's Cholo talk. And I feel like you don't need to disrespect the situation in the form of trying to make it like Wack is a super coward. Wack come from a time to where, you know, he's a Don move. When he grew up, it was really red on blue, burgundy on blue. That was what it really was. So I feel like you can't create a narrative like Wack, you know, he go through so much in his lifetime to where, you know, he's not afraid of no Crips, but he gonna get on here and sugarcoat it and just say, and like be afraid, just say F Mexicans. I believe if that's how he felt, he would just say it. I take for what he said is a fact in the matter. Like, he's just mimicking Cholo talk. That's just how I look at it. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how I view it. Like, don't underestimate the situation, and not even just for Wack, but for anybody. You know, anybody that grew up in that time, that's a real blood or a real Crip. They grew up to where they had to meet real serious adversity, you know, real strong competitors, real strong, dangerous opposition, and they survived through that. And you don't have people running around here saying like Wack was some type of sucker, lame, coward, weenie, whatever, growing up in these situations. Now, going back to Gunner's Collective, I think I even watched a clip from him before to where he was pretty much saying like, you know, Wack was carrying himself very well behind the walls at one point. So don't ever make this image like a person would be afraid of you and your kind, but they do stand tall against another group of individuals. I feel like that's creating a narrative too that can be taken as belittling somebody, you know, making it seem like a person is afraid to say something when they're not. I think he means what he means, and he said what he said, and I agree with him. He's mimicking Cholo type of stuff. Now, if a Cholo got a problem with that, then they got the right. But if not, let's not make it seem like it's just black, it's Mexicans. See, and then this is the two things that's different between the black culture and the Mexican culture, right? In the streets, black people, for the most part, is always gonna be more about the gang culture. It's never gonna really be big about the race. Not saying that you don't have people who's big on the race, but for the most part, it's gonna always be more about the gang culture. So with that being said, I'm saying that like a Cholo is like a certain type of Mexican. It's not all Mexicans. It's like more of a gangbanger, right? That's what black people have a problem with. If they even have a problem with them, it would be like, okay, you know, they don't like Southsiders. That's what you will see. You will see a black person feel like they totally dislike Southsiders before they ever just come out and be hating Mexicans. That's just not how it goes, because black people run a separation campaign on that. Mexicans, they take more pride, they run their course, they represent their race. The race probably come before the gang culture more so. So with them, it's like everything is more like inserting the situation as a whole group of individuals for it to be Mexicans, or they'll say black or Mexican, whatever. They won't just, you know, use certain things and say Crip or blood or Paru or whatever. They'll keep it simple on Mexicans and blacks. When blacks won't carry that image, you know, it'll just be, you know, blacks might love a lot of Mexicans and then love a lot of Mexicans that's Northerners or just other regular Mexicans. But, you know, Southsiders, they might have a problem with that because those are the competitors. That is the opposition when there's gangbanging going on in the streets. That don't have nothing to do with every Mexican, every normal Mexican getting up, doing what they doing, carrying themselves with honor and dignity. That has nothing to do with it. But if you call yourself a gangbanger, you know, people will have a problem with you because obviously you are the opposition. Depends on what environment people grew up in, and if they do have beefs that's between Crips and Southsiders or Southsiders and Don Moves.
What are you talking about?
He looked him dead in his eyes. Looked him dead in his eyes. And then they did that.
See that? He knows what he just did is disrespectful, derogatory, and bullshit. And what he say? Clip it. But here I am. I'm gonna play along. You are sitting there. Like, why do you have a jersey on? Were you just playing for the Raptors and just got off the court and just did the interview? Like, how did that happen? That you decided that's flying? And look at your boy's outfit. Like, the pants, the shirt. That dude looks like he wants to gobble that mic up. Luce.
Now listen. Is it responsible or is it irresponsible for you to say Luce Cannon look like he want to perform some type of, you know, rainbow activity with the microphone? Because, you know, you say when the guy's supposed to be an OG and this and that and know the politics, then they know what to play with and what not to play with. So why would you, if you feel like that's wrong on WACK behalf, why would you jump in that same type of boat? Why would you not just keep your message authentic and keep it mature and keep it, you know, with a serious message that you're trying to get across the board? You done jumped off into a boat of making jokes and trolling mid of your message. That's kind of confusing. And then also, you know, people can find it as you have a problem with black culture, right? I'm gonna say maybe you do, maybe you don't. But let me give you this different way about it, right? You made fun of WACK100 because you got a Toronto Raptor jersey on. You made you making fun of Luce Cannon outfit when both of them just wearing one of the styles that black people wear. That's a part of the fashion, the trend, the style of black people. So are you expressing yourself to show that you really dislike black people's culture? Or would you want people to view it and say that Dubs don't like WACK100 style of dressing, or he don't like Luce Cannon style of dressing? Because we can take it either way it go. Which way would you want people to view it? So when you carry these narratives, like you want people to just take it for a whole thing, like, yeah, he's hating all Mexicans or got a problem with Mexicans, do you want a person to view the same way with you and say, oh man, look what Dubs just said. How can you make fun of a person for wearing a basketball jersey? How can you actually do that? You know what I'm saying? That's always been something big in the black culture as far as fashion. So a person will look at it like, dang, you just, you know, that's like you just disrespecting our culture, our style, one of our styles that we wear. The same with Luce Cannon. The jeans, people wear those type of jeans. You know what I'm saying? His old style, it's like he's not dressed off the wall. That's how we wear, like, you know what I'm saying? So do you want people to view it as you just kind of got a problem with Luce Cannon and WACK100, or do you want a person to view it as like, hey man, I hate a lot of things that got to do with the black culture? I'm just asking, you know, because when we flip the shoe, you know, you more than welcome. I mean, you know, you push a narrative like you want everybody to just say WACK is pushing this wide hate towards Mexicans, instead of you want to be responsible and say, look how he feels about lefty gunplay. You making it seem like this how you feel about Mexicans. So do you want us to view you as like this, how you feel about WACK100 and Luce Cannon, or do you want us to view it as, okay, Dubs, you really got a problem with the black culture? Let's continue.
Cannon wants to suck on that microphone. He wants it inside his stomach, and he wants to talk that way. And he probably got a wire on. I'm not watching this whole thing, but we're gonna just do this part.
And look, let's talk about this too. Dubs just said that Luce Cannon probably got a wire on. Since when do we put them type of labels or jackets on people if we don't have the facts? If you ain't got the facts, do you know, like, do you got any type of information to know that Luce Cannon works with law enforcement? Do you have anything that's some solid proof that you can say that? But you said he probably got one, which you are entitled to your feeling. If that's the type of person that Luce Cannon make you feel like he'd come to the interview with a wiretap, then hey, you entitled to your feeling because Luce Cannon did something or said something that made you feel that type of way. But again, when we flip the script, Wack can't even say he thinks something happened behind the walls with Lefty Gunplay. He can't even get away with saying what he thinks. Come on, we gotta keep it fair. If we gonna keep it one way, we gotta keep it that way.
But look at the laughter, the smiles between Adam 16 and Wack when it comes to making the raza look bad. And yet the raza keep going to the platform. The raza keep being the puppet, the clowns. Adam's like, dance for me. I need some Mexicans up in here to dance for me. And he finds them every time. So, you know, to me personally, I'm telling the raza right now, all these fucking raza rappers that keep going to that platform, don't act hard and disrespect the North. Don't act hard and disrespect another Southerner. Don't act like you're killing shit in your songs and you go over there and you dance for this motherfucker that's making fun of raza on a regular. Just make your music, eh?
They head movement. You get what I'm saying?
Yo, I think we might want to do that again, Holmes. Lefty, I don't care what you say. You'll never lay this down. See, this is what happens when you play with my
There you go, Raza.
For no reason. You lied on me, talking about I killed deals for. I don't even know you. But what I do know is you were lip to lip with another man that came out and says, I'm bisexual. No man's going to.
So you heard what Wack just said. And again, I'm not saying what's true or what's not. But he said that this is what happens when you play with my name. I don't even know you, but you putting it out there like I stop or block deals for you and all that. So go back to what I was saying. WACK100 and Lefty Gunplay got an individual issue. Why do it take other grown Mexicans to get on this YouTube or podcast and try to make it a Mexican versus black thing? Or a Mexican versus Wack thing, when it's clearly a Wack versus Lefty Gunplay thing?
Come out and say they're bisexual, and then days later, like you say, that's them dude calling. I'll send you a cash app, Holmes.
So men can be
please,
bisexual?
Holmes. Like tell them, cause look how you got me looking. Like, yo, if you don't say it, bro, I'm not gonna do the other thing I told you I was gonna do with you.
I know bitches who have Lefty Gunplay.
What that mean?
I'm saying
So you
Bisexual.
bisexual?
Bitches and kissing men.
you guys are the types who would deny that bisexuality.
So then they go into this whole... Matter of fact, let it play a minute. Hold on.
Nah, I don't think so.
What do you mean? It is a real thing.
You would deny a man's bisexual. If I a dude, you would just call me gay.
Yeah.
No, I say you bisexual.
No.
But you're gay. In our world,
He told Adam in their world, like if Adam is not a man. He said it to his face. These are the things like in prison, if you have a conversation, every single word in that sentence means something. And when he said in our world,
in the heterosexual world, everything, the whole community is just gay.
I'm with you.
But I
It's gay.
understand. I had a conversation with my partner Ion today. He's an openly queer man.
let's end on that. You could watch the rest if you want to. He had a in-depth conversation with this boy about the meanings of the LGBTQ whatever out. I think they've added stuff on it. But why? Why? Like earlier, you made a comment like when people are on pills or on drugs, that's when they like you know a whole lot about the community.
Now again, that's where I feel like Dubs is carrying more of an immature approach and trolling as opposed to being serious and mature and delivering his real message. Again, I don't have no problem with his message on what his point he was trying to get across. If he felt some type of way, obviously he's entitled to that, try to, whatever. But also, you can't be mad at somebody who's trying to see understanding. See, as humans, we tend to bash or disrespect what we don't understand. So if WACK want to be a mature and adult and seek knowledge to get an understanding on what that community is all about, then why not let him have an understanding about it? Why would he just bash him out? Why should he disrespect him? Unless that's the type of program you running, Dubs. Now, obviously, where we come from, the street culture, the guidelines and all that, we don't partake in no rainbow activity. Do people do it? Yeah, but that don't mean it's okay. Me, myself, I'm not supporting that type of community, but I'm not hating it as well. You know what I'm saying? Either, I should say. And I feel like that's how I go with WACK. He's doing business. If he don't have a problem with a person because what they do in their bedroom, then that's just the case of the matter. And, if he's seeking understanding, then he's seeking understanding. But for you to create the narrative on the immature side with the trolling, it's not a good look, man. I think the trolling and the joking is going to overshadow your message. And I feel like, hopefully you made it, you might watch this or you might don't. But I feel like maybe you can pick up certain things and know how to go about situations as opposed to creating narratives and trying to make everything army versus one or army versus army, race versus race type of situation, and just know how to have a situation for individuals. I'm on here trying to make sure that people don't get the wrong idea and think that it's some type of Mexican versus black situation, or Mexicans versus WACK situation. Because no matter how many individuals get out here and show that they don't agree with a lot of WACK100 behavior, just letting a whole other race think that they're gonna have their way with WACK, that's something that would never be able to be tolerated or accepted. And I feel like that would go both ways on both sides of the fence. So I feel like, you probably can use that as a manipulation tactic. I know a lot of black people don't really rock with WACK anyway. So when I get on him, people probably ain't gonna speak on it or care about it. But no, that's irresponsible to create this narrative. And if somebody run up on WACK with this type of stuff, anything is possible, whether a win, loss on any side. But when you out here planting these seeds in certain people's minds that don't really have a strong mind or can't distinct for themselves, people interpret things the wrong way, and anything can happen. And that's one of the reasons why I said I think this was kind of, I think the approach was a little bit uncalled for, and I think it might have been a misunderstanding from Dubs gathering this interview. And I feel like he probably already got a problem with WACK100, so anytime he does something, he just sees it in the most negative way. But I feel like, it is what it is. I done spoke on this enough. Shout out to everybody involved with the video. Hopefully I was able to get a good message out there. And I'm going to catch y'all in the next video. I'm out.